Franco Pacheco, U.S. Marines. I was a combat commander in '05. We had two rifle companies with us. It was weapon company and killer company. And behind the barracks we live in, we had a tanker and we burned everything, anything that wasn't edible or trash. Every night we used to have burn everything. And you can see the fumes for miles and everything else. So we burned it because there was nowhere to get rid of the waste. Well, I didn't know anything until March 2nd, 2021. And I went to the hospital and they found a brain tumor the size of a baseball on my head. And then I got transferred and got operated overnight, emergency surgery. I had no symptoms until one morning I got up. I didn't remember anything. And I was taken to the VA hospital and I was vomiting. That's what I remember, was vomiting. And from there, I went to the hospital, they did a brain scan. And from there, the VA told me, you need to get emergency surgery. You have a brain tumor at the size of a baseball in your head. You need surgery. Like right now, I got transferred to another hospital. I went to the hospital because I thought I had food poisoning. When I went there first time, they gave me IV, 4 things of IV, sent me home. When I came home, I threw up. Went back the next day to the VA saying, something's wrong here. They gave me more IV. Go home, I threw up again. The third time, I was like, I woke up. It wasn't me. I had a different look. To be honest with you, I couldn't even speak. I was taken to the VA hospital. The VA hospital finally decided to do a brain scan. After the whole thing went, they thought I had COVID. And I said, I don't have COVID. So I kind of told them, listen, I fell down and they did a brain scan. When they did the brain scan, within 45 minutes, the doctor goes, we got a problem here. You got a brain tumor on your head the size of a baseball. You need to get transferred right now to another VA hospital to do emergency surgery, because if not, he goes, you're going to die. The next morning, I had emergency surgery for 14 hours. A lot of the Marines on Facebook, including the old commanding officer. I have a couple of Marines with the battalion that were attached to us. They got cancer all over their back. I had a gunnery sergeant. I had a colonel, a sergeant major complaining that I had headaches and everything else. And I explained my story. They're all going to get checked out because now everybody's worried about this kid had a seizure. And now, he's only 35 years old and he wasn't hit. So everybody's worried about me since I was the platoon sergeant, number one. Number two, they're all concerned about their own health because they saw the Marines like me from my battalion. And believe it or not, my colonel told me that in 2005, we had a gunny that deployed to Iraq outside of the area. He died in front of us in 29 Palms. He had a seizure and we could figure out why. But when I told my situation, he goes, Pacheco, remember gunny so-and-so? I was like, yes, Colonel. He goes, that's what he had. So now everybody's concerned and all the Marines are getting checked out. They all made appointments with the VA in Cleveland because everybody's worried that we're all exposed to something. Okay, this is the scar from a surgery right here, which I don't mind. Thank God I'm alive. I have to go for 42 days. I got to take meds. I start my treatment on the 13th. I got chemo and live radiation. I got to take it for 35 days straight. After that, they got to shave my head bald and put a special helmet to see if the cancer goes away. Because right now, the NYU hospital told me that it goes, you're a young veteran that's serving Iraq and this and that. We never seen this kind of cancer because usually the cancer attacks your lungs. On your case, you attack your head backwards. So they gave me a clean bill of health. So right now I'm taking meds. And on the 13th, I go to city 5 days a week for a whole month. See if they can do the radiation. Hopefully they can catch where it came from. Believe it or not, I called the VA rep that does the claims for veterans. And I told my situation. I just got surgeries and that. And I asked, can I apply for benefits? The guy laughed in my face. He goes, it's like Agent Orange. It didn't happen. Have a good day. I was like, you know what? Thank you, service officer. Have a nice day. And I felt as a veteran, that's not the answer I want to hear from the VA after I had made surgery. So they'll tell me that it never happens. It's not service connected. It affects me because once I take the meds, I go to sleep. And to be honest with you, I go to sleep from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. I get up and I just get up, take my meds because I'm on meds 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As far as going outside, I try to stay out of the sun because of the scar. That way I don't get anything. As far as driving, I'm not allowed to drive because I'm on limited duty, what I can do in my life. So what I do is I live there at the time and trying to see how I can empower my all the veterans from my battalion. Well, I'm a VFW post commander for Corporate VFW Post 9842. I'm a lieutenant with the Naval Sea Cadets. I've been doing that for the last 6 years. And anything military, we support the military percent because we're proud of our country and we're proud to serve. So any veteran that needs help, we try to help them as much as we can. And we try to help veterans with benefits and that. But on this one, I'm kind of stuck because I don't want a veteran go get to the VA to get help, because if we tell them what happened to me, they're gonna run to the same dead end. What I would like to know is this: that just like you serve your country and everything else, so it's a lot of kids that don't serve the country. I want the military, especially the VA, to help us out, because think about this: if I didn't get help by somebody looked out for me at the VA that knew something was wrong, where can I get help? So I'm trying to educate a lot of veterans right here, because especially New York, a lot of veterans don't want to use the VA because so many times they try to apply for disability and they go like this to them. So, me being a post commander as a VFW, I try to help everybody else as much as I can and try to educate them to trust the VA, even though they might say no the first couple of times, apply for benefits. On my case, with the scar on my face, people now be like, whoa, now I apply for benefits. I told the town to help out many veterans, especially Long Island has a lot of veterans, and try to get them help. Even if I have to put the VFW up at night to tell the veterans, this is going to happen. I'm living proof of what can happen to you. And just want to educate the whole public and a lot of veterans out there, especially the guys from the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, whatever branch you serve. Thank you for your service. And just get checked out by the VA, because it might be a life changer for you. You already know I served with 3rd Battalion, 25th Marines in Iraq and everything else. So I went to the hospital, and to be honest with you, I was so out of it. I have the stuff I remember. I remember being at the VA hospital. I remember the doctors looking at me. Erica spoke on my behalf after the 3rd time going to the hospital within 72 hours. So I'm gonna let Erica talk to tell you exactly what happened, because to be honest with you, I don't recall having the conversation or what happened. The only thing I remember was waking up after I had brain surgery.
I had taken Franco to the VA hospital in Northport, and I was unable to go into the emergency room with him due to COVID. And then after a few hours of coming home, he was discharged with just IV fluids. We had taken him back again a few days later, same signs, same symptoms. It was basically, they told us that he was dehydrated. I had woke him up on a Sunday morning, and I could clearly tell something was not right. As I was driving to the VA hospital, I knew that I didn't want to be shut out again by not being able to get into the VA hospital. And when Franco arrived there, he couldn't walk a straight line. He could not walk at all. And I was yelling for someone at least to come out and acknowledge that we were in the parking lot, to get like some sort of like wheelchair. Finally, a nurse came out. They had assessed us and asked, does he do drugs? And I said, no. Was he tested for COVID? I said, yes, numerous times. I had asked basically the VA, please don't tell me that this is COVID. Please don't tell me he does drugs. He doesn't. He has not had anything to drink in 3 weeks. And then I had asked for either a CAT scan or at least look to see if it was an inner ear infection, thinking that this could have been vertigo and maybe the nausea was caused by some sort of inner ear infection. And they basically told me that I could not ask for a CAT scan or order a CAT scan, only a doctor could. And that's when the light bulb went off in my head. And I said, he fell. something's wrong with him. He needs a CAT scan. I had, indicated to a scar that he had previous. And I said, he fell. And they had said to me, well, he didn't disclose this on his prior admissions. And I was like, he doesn't remember. I said, he has no clue. And then they asked me to leave due to the COVID precautions, which I totally understand. And as I left, it was an hour later that the doctor had told me that they did a CAT scan and found a mass on his brain that was the size of a baseball, and that they were immediately transferring him to another VA hospital because that hospital was not equipped to handle his condition.
Usually in the critical care unit that I work, which specializes in neuro, and we see a lot of brain tumors, ideally, if there's any type of tumor that has any surrounding edema, we try and give steroids for a couple of days, anywhere from 3 to 4 typically, in the goal that we try and shrink the tumor and the tissue as much as possible, or at least the surrounding swelling, so that we're cutting out as little brain as possible. You described having surgery the next day, which implies to me that it was emergent enough that you had to have surgery as soon as possible and could not wait for that step.
He was transported to Manhattan VA Hospital. I think he arrived there at 2:00. I had spoke to the doctor at the VA, and he had said that he was in good hands at the VA. And I immediately wanted him to be transported to a regular hospital. They said, no, he's lucky to be here, and that they were going to prep him for surgery the next day, which was a Monday. The doctor then called me back 2 hours later, told me that they were transferring him to NYU Medical Center and that the surgery was going to be performed there. He did not receive the surgery until, I think, 24 hours after being admitted into NYU. They were able to extract 99% of the tumor out. From there, I was notified that he would have to have chemotherapy, radiation treatment after the surgery. After speaking to the oncologist and the radiation oncologist, we were informed that he would have to have 5 days a week of radiation oncology. And from there, it's just living day by day.
And I gotta wear a special helmet. You want to tell him about that?
Right. And he's going to be outfitted with the Optune device for his head. So after his surgery, he was diagnosed with glioblastoma. At this point, I take day by day with him, and I take it as a gift with him every day. Going forward, not sure what it holds. I do know, the end result, the outcome, but I just keep him positive, keep him strong, and try and take every day as a gift that I have with him. I think at this point, any veteran that may have served that may be experiencing just sort of mild symptoms that might not know something, or, they should just go and get themselves checked out, have themselves looked over, and just don't take your typical veteran comments as far as, do you do drugs? Do you do, you take alcohol? Is it COVID? They just have to be diligent and persistent in how they feel internally and try and get, this diagnosed as soon and as early as possible.